So I just went on Glossier to reorder Boy Brow because the one that I had been dried out for at least a month and I'd just been dragging my feet about reordering it. And so I went online and, you know, I bought a little bit more than just Boy Brow. Quite a bit more than just Boy Brow. So I thought today I would put everything that I bought on my face and give my thoughts on them. These are still like fairly fresh opinions and thoughts, like it's still kind of a first impressions because I've not been using any of them long enough to have like a full review on, but these are kind of my initial thoughts on the products, how they work and what I think about them. So let's do a full face of Glossier makeup and rewind to a bare-faced me. Okay, so the first product that I'm going to use, foundation is maybe too strong a word for this one, so would tinted moisturizer, BB cream. It's their only base product, really. It fulfills the role of a foundation without being a foundation or an equivalent. I'm not sure how you would classify this, but this is their Perfecting Skin Tint. I bought this one in the shade G12, which looks like this. This is their lightest shade. They have 12 shades, so this one is the lightest and then G1 would be the darkest. And I have to say, considering they only have 12 shades, it kind of feels like quite an inclusive shade range. It covers a fair range of skin tones, I would say, which is much better than when they first launched. I remember they only had like 3 or 4 shades, which is why I've never picked this one up before. So the first time that I tried this, I definitely applied way too much. This is not necessarily friendly for oily skin types. I would say this definitely probably caters a lot better to people with like drier or normal skin, but even that I think is maybe too much, but you really don't want much. You can see it's like quite liquidy. I just use a small amount and I just sort of dot it on like so. I just like using my fingers to blend in foundation because I'm lazy and this is a lot quicker and easier than using a brush. It literally, if you were to look at my skin close up, it genuinely doesn't look like I've put anything on. It kind of feels more like a skincare step than an actual like makeup base, only it doesn't sink in. I like that you can't see it on the skin, but I'm not sure what it does or how much it does. Okay, so now that I don't look any different than I did 2 seconds ago, I'm going to go in with the concealer. This is their Stretch Concealer, and again, I have it in the shade G12. It's quite a sheer concealer. It's not one that's going to cover all of the pigmentation that I'm dealing with right now, but I bought this one specifically to go underneath my eyes because I wanted something that was lightweight and a little bit more sheer, because I kind of like having a little bit of a colour underneath my eye. I don't know, it really weirds me out when people completely remove any sort of colour underneath their eye. I think it looks really unnatural. And the whole thing that I'm going for with my base makeup is something that looks like I'm not wearing makeup. So I don't really want to stick my finger in the pot, so I'm just using a brush and I'm just putting it in the corner of my eye. And I think you can see just from the application like how creamy this is. Like, this is very, the best way I can describe it is like slippy, but as said, underneath my eyes I want something that's maybe like a little bit more moisturizing. But if you prefer a fuller coverage or something that's gonna stay in place a lot better than this does, it's not like the best concealer. But I am just taking it on these scars just so you can see what it would look like if I did use it to conceal. It doesn't have as much pigment as like a normal concealer would, so can you see that there's the slightest bit of a difference? It does exactly what I want an under eye concealer for me to do. I don't like anything too heavy underneath my eyes. But if you can see as I start blending in with these scars, can I just say this one here is really annoying because it's so close to my eyebrow that I just get concealer in my eyebrows, which is great fun. But as you can see, like, it does cover somewhat. Like, if I was looking for a really low maintenance makeup day, then this would be fine. But if I was to be going to work, for example, where I want something that's going to last all day, then this would not be enough. And I think this concealer with the skin tint definitely kind of adds quite a bit of shine. So again, obviously at the moment I'm not going out to work, so it doesn't really matter if I look really sweaty and oily throughout the day, because nobody can see me. I'm not even doing like Zoom meetings, so it's really not a problem. But if we were in a normal global situation at the moment, then I don't know how well these two together would last if I was going out and about. I just think the combination is quite shiny. Like, look at my chin right now. It's practically a disco ball. Okay, so I have powdered. I've just kind of concentrated it in my T-zone because that's where I felt like I was getting especially oily. So first for blush, I actually just have samples of their cheek paints. I have a sample of Puff, which is a pale pink, and Storm, which is like a dark movie type shade, we'll say. I just got the samples rather than buying full size because, again, I have had the full size cheek paint before, and they are nice cream blushes. It's just that I know that I'm very happy with my Hourglass powder blushes. Like, I never reach for any other type of blush. They are now the only blush that I own, so I don't really need one of these. Like, I knew I just wouldn't use it despite the fact that they are nice. They are a bit dry now because I did open them the other day. Oh god, very dry. Okay, so they're not going to work in the same way that they would if they weren't open, but I'm just going to take the shade Puff and put that on my cheeks. It's this colour here. You'll see it on my cheeks in a second. Okay, yeah, this is very dry. This is not an accurate representation of how it would normally apply. Obviously, when they don't come in a sachet, they tend to be a bit creamier than they are now. Okay, so the next product that I have is their highlighter. This is their Halo Scope Dew Effect highlighter, and I have the shade Moonstone. They have 3 shades. They have this one. They have like a pinky pearlescent kind of shade, and then they also have more of like a golden champagne-y type of shade, but this one is like essentially white. It's kind of like more of an iridescent white kind of shade, and this is just what I was most drawn to. So this one has like the product around the outside and then a balm in the middle. I guess the balm is like to keep the glow there for most of the day. I'm not entirely sure, but if I do that and then like weirdly move my head around, can you see that? So this Halo Scope, again, this one confuses me because I don't like how this feels when you first apply it. This feels very sticky, probably because of the balm. It feels very balmy, but I do like the shine that it gives. Like, it is nice, although it does kind of have like some glitter reflex. I don't know, I can't really make my mind up on this one, but it does dry down. Either it dries down or it disappears. I can't really work it out, but it doesn't stay this sticky. But right now it feels tacky. And then finally, to complete the base, I have Boy Brow in brown. They have 4 shades of this. This is, again, a product that I've used before. It's the only product that I've repurchased from Glossier multiple times. I do really like this one. It's a decent eyebrow gel. I'm really lazy with my eyebrows, you can probably tell, because they're a bit of a mess. But I don't care. So I just use it to try and make them more uniform and control them a little bit, because I have very long eyebrow hairs. Mainly I try and use it to match the front of my eyebrows up, because I mean, my eyebrows are like second cousins twice removed. Most definitely not twins, but certainly the front of my eyebrows are quite different, so I just try and match as best as I can, which is really difficult when you've got a spot scar right in the place where you're trying to add eyebrow hairs. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, now on to the more fun stuff. I have one of their eye pencils, or their Colour Slide Techno Gel eye pencil, and I have this in the shade Early Girl. I was just drawn to this shade. However, the first time I used this, and this will only be the second time that I use it when I use it now, it was quite difficult to apply. I found it quite stiff. I don't know if that's because of the shade. So, yeah, again, like, I don't know if it's the shade or if it is just this formula in particular, but it is just quite a stiff formula, and because I really want this shade to pop, I'm really having to build it up, but I do find it kind of difficult to use. Like, it really tugs at the skin. I don't know, it is a nice shade, but I feel like it's gonna be a lot of work. Okay, so that's both eyes done. I'm just gonna put it in my waterline just to try and give some uniformity, and I do think it applies much better underneath the eyes than on top of the eyes, and that's that done. I would definitely say that the selling point for these pencils is the colour range, which is really pretty. I'm still obviously going to play around with it and try to make this work, but it makes me less keen on buying more of these. So if you know any eye pencils that have a similar colour range to the Glossier Play ones, please let me know, because I really love that mustard shade, but I'm not a huge fan of this formulation. It's just quite difficult to apply. So their mascara, they've called Lash Slick. We got there in the end. And this is their Film Form Mascara, whatever that means. Just comes again in the typical Glossier packaging, and this is a plastic wand, and this is a fibre mascara. Now, the first time that I used this, I really didn't like it. This is very much a case of less is more. Do not try and build this mascara up. I guess because it's a fibre mascara, it just doesn't work like that. It looks like a bit of a hot mess when you try and build this mascara up. So it's really a case of coating and then moving on, because it really begins to clump your eyelashes together, and it gets really weird. But like that, it's okay, but I don't feel like it gives any volume. Like, it definitely adds length. If I was to keep going with this, it would add a lot of length. Again, I guess that's because of the fibres, and it is like more natural looking. Personally, I like bigger and darker eyelashes, so this is okay. I'll use it because I'm not that picky with mascaras, but it's definitely not a new favourite. Yeah, so that's the mascara. If you like a really nice natural mascara, then this might be of interest to you. So finally we move on to the lips. They have quite a few lip products, but I only bought one and it doesn't have any colour to it, so I'm going to use the Cloud Paint samples again, and I'm going to use Storm, and this one looks really dry. I'm not even going to show it to you because it looks kind of disgusting inside, but I'm going to just use a little bit of that just to add a little bit of colour to my lips. So that's it. And I do actually quite like this shade for the lips, but I wouldn't buy a full size just to be able to use it occasionally as a lip product. That seems insane. But it is a really pretty shade. So the only lip product that I have is their lip gloss, and I bought it in the clear shade. They have 3 shades in this. They have a red, this one, and I think like an iridescent shade, but clear seemed like the easiest one. And I have to say, out of everything that I bought, this is my favourite. It's not sticky. I mean, it has like a little bit of typical like lip gloss stick, but it doesn't like make your lips stick together. It just gives like a nice classy sheen. Can you see? It's a nice lip gloss, and it's the one thing that I think I will get the most use out of everything that I bought, so that's probably also why it's one of my favourites. But that's it. That's everything now on my face. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully I'll see you very soon. Bye.